Hey, you caught me again in the kitchen. All right, well, check this out. What's that? Trainer Tom. Look at that. Well, my friends, this is organic, handmade, by scratch. One of my absolute favorite things. Carrot cake, when done properly. Everything's organic, delicious, and nutritious. However, it's high in glycemic index. So, people have asked me, do I ever have a cheat? Like, what do you mean by cheat? Like, eat sweets and drink alcohol and all of that. Well, I don't eat junk, right? So if you call cheating by eating junk, no, I don't eat junk. I eat good. However, there's a secret in bodybuilding called the glycemic index. Now, some of you folks have heard of this new word. I'm not a real fond friend of this word, and it's called the keto diet. We don't eat keto. We eat food, right? Now, our body produces ketones from fat in the liver, and we can use that as a rocket fuel. But in reality, the better word is the glycemic index of food, which is a technical term dietitians use, myself included as a nutritional consultant, on how that food breaks down into your body. So, depending on which study that you read or heard, or I'm about to tell you, a score of 0 to 100 is applied to every individual food in that study. 100 being the high, meaning that food item releases its energy super fast. An item 50 and below, that releases fairly slow. So the higher the glycemic index for that food that is in that listing, the quicker that food releases its energy into your body. Well, there's some good and some not so good things about that. And then also on the lower, longer carbon chains, sorry to be so technical, that food, meaning complex carbohydrate or whatever, complex, right, for carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, break down at a lower rate, meaning it takes the body longer to break that down and utilize for fuel. So, why am I still holding this cake? Well, am I about to eat this? Well, let me look at my watch. When would I eat this? And the answer is in the first 90 minutes after a very strenuous workout. No, I'm not talking, hey, I just came in and walked for 30 minutes on the treadmill. That's not strenuous, my friends. In fact, you haven't even burned off the glucose in your blood or the glycogen yet. It's in your muscles, right? So, no. I'm talking strenuous workout. 45 minutes is the minimum that it takes to burn off the glucose in your blood, the glycogen in your muscle, before you ever even attempt to start burning off the ketones or the fat that's converted to ketones. So 45 minutes, my friends. So if you're going in and just doing a 30-minute walk, whatever, even at strenuous, you've not hit fat burn. Even if you do this thing called fasted cardio, you have to hit at the 45 minutes minimum, okay? Then after that, you can get into the fat burn. So this is why people have this thing where they hit a plateau and they're not making any changes in their movement. So when will I eat this? Well, since it's been 90 minutes after my particular strenuous workout, because that's the window of opportunity to take in a higher glycemic index food, I'm going to do something that you're probably going to like. Really? Yeah, really. Watch this. I have a BHT free, BPA free container. I never touched it. It's in there. Put my lid on it. And it's going to wait. Why? Because I have a discipline and I have a strategy and I have a plan for me and for the way that I want to eat. I am going to eat this within that 90-minute window of opportunity in a day or so, right? So it's organic, so there's no preservatives. I better do that pretty quick, right? So I'm going to set this to the side, okay? And instead, I have some very fresh, raw cashews. Why raw? Raw nuts, right? Raw nuts. I'm nutty about raw nuts. That's where the nutrition is. When you cook them and bake them and roast them, guess what happens? You cooked them and baked them and roast them, and that nutrition goes. So instead of having that delicious piece of cake, I'm going to honor my body and honor what I want to do in my future and eat a handful of cashews. High in protein, high in good fats, nature's Prozac, calm me down. That's what I'm going to eat. So, do yourself a favor. If you have any questions about the glycemic index, enter that in below. I can talk forever on that, right? Part of PhD stuff, okay? 0 to 100, 0 to 150, depending on which study that you subscribe to, okay? Now, why is that important to know? Well, if you're eating a high glycemic index food and you take that in, what is it doing in your body? The higher the glycemic index is, like say carrots, white bread, wheat bread, white potato, 90, 95, 98 to 100 sucrose. When you take that in, it turns on your insulin pump. Okay, what the heck? What does that mean? Well, when you turn on your insulin pump, you're injecting back into the muscle, right? Injecting. That means you've turned off your fat burn process. Oh. I just tried to get to my fat burn process. Fat is low on the scale of glycemic index. So you're not going to turn on the insulin pump. You're going to keep that turned off, and you're going to fuel yourself with protein and fats and fiber. Oh. See how this works? So, instead of getting wrapped up in this whole thing about the keto diet and this, that, and the other thing with that, let's call it what it is. Let's call it smart eating, utilizing the glycemic index. So if we could come up with a fancy word for that, I've even tossed around rocket fuel. Rocket fuel, rocket man, rocket fuel, right? We want rocket fuel for our jet engines, right? And having fat in your body, having the access to that fat to burn in your body, when you tap that, it is rocket fuel, right? And you'll feel it. So, hope this helps, and enjoy a little bit of time with your nuts, because we're a little bit nut about nuts. Who doesn't like some good nuts? I'm gonna have two. Love your nuts. Be nutty about nut. Trying to time out.